Okay, so the 15th straight day of protests in Elizabeth City. That's me. That's what I look like. At least that's what I looked like about, I don't know, like fucking 18 hours ago when I was arriving on the scene for the 15th day of protests in Elizabeth City over the police murder of Andrew Brown Jr. And so I arrive a little late. So, like, I was like the last person here by the time I get here. People are getting ready. And we start marching. So yesterday's marches were almost all throughout residential areas. Also, specifically, we went down a lot of the, like, you know, the rich people areas. Like, you know, where you see, like, the fucking giant lawns and the fucking 3-story homes and, like, all that kind of stuff, right? So, like, that was kind of the goal of today's protest, is be as very, very loud as you possibly can in the rich people neighborhoods, and have, like, rich people, like, you know, like, open their windows and go, like, what's going on out there, you know? And that was kind of like the whole idea. And so it was pretty successful, I would say. But at this point, as we're still preparing to walk in there, these cars back here are cars that have like water bottles, like, you know, food stuffs and etc. And the cops know that, and they specifically cut these cars. You can see them, like, awkwardly trying to drive into their direction to cut them off and not let them through. But, you know, they do get through anyway. But the cops are being, like, really obnoxious about that. And they were being really obnoxious about that the entire time. But I want to remind everyone, for the past 2 days, they've been modifying the permits illegally, saying that we have to walk on one side of certain roads. And then during that, they said they would provide a side escort of police cars so that, you know, to prevent from vehicular attacks. But they've not been doing that, right? And so also, reminder that the police have been arresting people for, quote, impeding traffic, even though there's a permit to walk, when they've also been caught not arresting people for drunk driving and being, like, parked in the middle of a fucking, you know, major road while there's cars behind them, right? So it's like the cops here are being purposefully antagonistic at all times. So I want to be very clear about that. And so this is just another example caught on tape. So City Councilman Horton also was marching with us for, like, the first half of this, and told us that there's going to be a council meeting today, which was yesterday's tomorrow, and informed people that they should arrive and that they should bring questions, specific questions, and try to, like, you know, basically just, you know, get it up in the faces of other city council members. This has been one of the only city council members that I've even liked a little bit. Out of the entire city council, there's like 2 of them that I you know, I'm like, okay, I don't hate you. I think you should be doing more. I think that, you know, etc. But I don't hate you. You know what I mean? And so I appreciate him marching with us for a little bit, and then actually saying something and providing us details. Unlike the mayor, who was just marching with us for a photo op and then left in the middle, just like got her photos and then whoop, they're out. You know. So we're in the residential areas, as you can see. You know, the houses are going to start getting nicer. And that's kind of like what we're doing here, is we're just going down to the richest neighborhoods. And again, we're getting really loud. So the weather was pretty good for the most part yesterday. Up until, like, the very end, it started raining, like, really fucking, like, it started pouring. It was like fucking action movie, like, final scene in a fucking drama film kind of movie. You know, like rain levels. And so it was pretty crazy. But at this point, the weather's pretty nice. The crowd's relatively decent. And, you know, the vibes are pretty good. And again, we're traveling through the rich neighborhoods. I met a dog. This is maybe one of the most beautiful creatures I've ever met in my entire life. It's, you know, this is a fantastic moment to be alive. And I just want everyone to know that this dog exists and they live here in Elizabeth City. So we're going again through some residential areas. We're cutting through some sad. As you can see, the police presence is growing. It was originally like 2 or 3 cars. Now it's like 4 or 5 cars. They're like, you know, they're just being really obnoxious. And again, as you can see, we're in like the areas where the houses are getting nicer. We're seeing big ass bullshit, you know, that kind of stuff. And so it's been pretty good. pressure the city council to pressure the mayor to lift the state of emergency. That's exactly what Councilman Horton was telling us to do, at the meeting. Because to my understanding, like, the restrictions of being able to, like, participate in city council meetings have been uplifted, and the curfew has been removed. And so people are being, like, that's the other thing. I forgot to mention that. I'm sorry. And so people should be able to go inside and express their grievances. And, again, the state of emergency is what allows the outside agitating police to occupy this city. It's what allows the SWAT buses in this city, the Burlington County Police, and all that shit. They're from fucking way out there, right? It's what allows these state troopers. It's what allows the, I don't know if it technically is what allows the federal people in there, because I think they can be in there regardless. But either way, it's what gives them the, the reason to have all of this heavy military presence in our city. And so the state of emergency needs to be lifted. There is no fucking emergency here. And if there's a state of emergency, the police should be policing the sheriff's department, if anything. But hey, that's just me. So we're going through, again, the rich people neighborhoods. And we're chanting, it's pretty entertaining. We had a couple people, that were supporters, and they're beautiful and wonderful, right? But we had a couple people, open their doors and, have, they're trying to take pictures to post on Facebook to tell their, sister how the black people are in my street or something. We had some of that. And it was pretty entertaining, I'm not going to lie. But again, this is what you got to do. You got to go throughout the entire city. This is the first time we've come out this way for, again, over 2 weeks of protesting straight. This is the first time we've been out in this direction. And so, it's a good thing to make sure that these people know that we're not going anywhere, to make sure that these people know that, yes, no justice, no peace means you too, actually, Mr. Rich Guy. And so that's kind of what we do. So we wrap around through these neighborhoods all the way to the Food Lion. A couple people actually go grocery shopping. I was considering it, but I prefer marching. But now I'm facing the wrath of that decision because I have almost no foodstuffs left. And so the cops at this point tell us that we have to occupy half the street. Again, not holding up their side of the bargain. They specifically said that they would provide a row of police on the side to prevent vehicle attacks from occurring. That's not been happening. And again, last night we had an interaction where someone was drunk behind the wheel and threatened to attack protesters with their car. And so that's a whole situation that it's not like it's a fantasy situation. People have died at protests all around the country, all around the world from vehicle attacks. Right, we're seeing vehicle attacks in Colombia right now, which is something I need to look into more, but I don't have much time right now. Right, so we're seeing this is a very common thing. We live in a very racist state. Around 50% of the people in this city voted for Donald motherfucking Trump. Right, so we have to understand if vehicle attacks are going to happen here, it's more likely to happen here than they are in other major cities. Oh, maybe it's not more likely. I don't know, but either my point is it's pretty fucking likely. It's as likely, if not more likely. And so I need that, to be understood. So it gets dark. The cops are once again trying to block off vehicles from getting through. So we have to wait. And they were slowly trying to drive up into our ankles, trying to do that whole thing. And so, we're just walking, making sure the cars, the friendly vehicles with all that get in here, and then we walk ahead. And so it's really dark at this point. But people are again, louder than usual. It's pretty great. And so we're marching back downtown, and around this time it starts to rain. And so it goes from not raining at all to beautiful, super hot, what the fuck, it's actually kind of too hot, kind of weather, to okay, nice looking clouds, to oh shit, it's raining, to holy fuck. Right. And so this video was filmed during the oh shit, it's raining segment. And then this video is filmed in the holy fuck, it's raining, right? Because you can see it's pouring, right? It's crazy. And I'm soaked. At this point, I'm soaked. I'm done for. And it was crazy. And so a lot of people, again, a lot of people live here. There's a lot of houses downtown. So a lot of people just start going home as we march downtown. And it starts raining. And again, I love when it starts raining because for me, it's that energetic, I feel oh shit, it's raining, me being out here is like, it's like a drama film, it's like, you're going in, it gives you that energy. That everyone who's out there protesting is like, they actually believe in that shit if they're willing to get showered on like this. So it's like, I like the rain. I'm down with it. And so then I walked home in the rain. And so like, I'm a little less down with walking home in the rain because like there's no one there to see me, right? And so I'm just getting wet. But either way, so I'm walking home in the rain, and that's kind of the situation. And so then we wrap up and we're getting ready again for day 16, which will be today, and I will be covering that. I don't know when I'm going to be arriving at the scene. I'll hopefully get there at around 4, I hope, but we'll see how that goes. And again, that's it. That's the recap. There's been no like incidents yesterday. There's been incidents like arrests, counter protester interactions. Yesterday was a relatively peaceful protest. And again, I want to very stress that all the protests from our perspective have been peaceful. The only, precarious conditions have been when the police start rioting and when counter protesters, there's an incident where a counter protester pepper sprayed a protester in our group. And then there was an incident last night, or not last night, but the night before last night, where a drunk driver was threatening us. So again, the only incidents have been when police are rioting, when Trumpers are rioting. The protest crowd that we are have been nothing but peaceful, 100% nonviolent. And so, that's, it's something that deserves to be said. It's something worthy of stating. And I think, that also I want to say that I saw almost no press out here yesterday. Like mainstream press. I saw like one dude from like Fox News, I think. But he was like, I don't think live streaming. Maybe he was. I don't know. But I saw him like put his camera down often. And so, but like, the press are going away. People are getting less interested in the story. And for me, as far as my personal thing is, that makes it even more important that I do these videos. That makes it even more important that I document these protests. Because like, again, we're getting to the point where I maybe potentially have one of the biggest platforms for documenting and spreading information on this protest. If like, mainstream media is not here anymore, or if they're starting to leave even more so, you know what I mean? And so like, again, share these videos. If you want me to post more raw footage, let me know. If you want me to do certain other things, let me know. Just like, share all the things on Twitter, make a Twitter account, share the posts on Twitter, that kind of stuff. Like get this story out there, because it's super important. What happened to the Elizabeth historian dude? Did he get out? Everyone got out of jail who was arrested the other day. Everyone got out of jail the same day. It just took like 3 hours. But everyone did get out of jail. But anyway, so yeah, my voice is shot. My voice is probably never going to come back. I would say it's probably just stuck like this for the rest of my life. Maybe for the rest of y'all's life. And maybe like when y'all die, maybe the voice will go back to normal right at that point. So it's like I'm giving myself a little bit of hope here. But either way, I've been out here every single day. And I will continue to be out there every single day. And until it's over. And it's not going to be over anytime soon, right? So, and again, if that makes me the only person there, the only documenter, the only podcaster who's there, so be it. Mainstream media would be there if there was violence. If there was violence, mainstream media would be there. When's the council meeting? Around 4:30 is when we're supposed to gather. That's what I was told. I did not verify that yet. I usually verify that shit like before heading out, but I haven't done that yet because I just woke up. But yeah, no, if there's violence, then yes, the mainstream press will be back. And that's why, again, I'm saying it's so important that, and again, I also want to say mainstream press took my video and other Facebook people's video of the drunk driving altercation the other night of the Trumper. And so like they were on top of that and used our footage when there was an interaction, right? But if there is a hint of violence from the crowd again, you bet mainstream press will go back. And that's why, again, it's so important for me to be covering this. And I know a lot of people are like, cover Biden doing this, cover, governor, whatever the fuck doing this, cover, fucking force the vote or whatever. And I would love to do all that. And I'm trying to like make more time in my day for that. But like I've got other things that I need to spend time on right now. And so, like, but I'll get into that shortly. But again, this is a very important story, and so I'm going to keep covering it with as much detail as I can until it's over, and it's not looking like it's going to be ending anytime soon. So that's it for the segment. Max the doggy, hello, look. It's Max the motherfucking dog. I love him so much.